Hey, welcome back to another Shop Talk with Adam Everything RC. Hey, I appreciate you stopping by and visiting a little bit. Let's try to learn something today, shall we? So, I'm sure that most of you at one time or another have had a FlyColor 150 amp speed control. And if you really look at how this thing is designed, it's actually a pretty good speed control, except for the cooling. Number one, it's using two tubes on either side of this heat sink, and then you've got a joint, a rubber hose going around. That always causes a problem with the interference sometimes. It also makes it quite a bit wider than it would be. So here's one altogether we're going to work on today. Here's one that we've removed the heat sink, and as you can see, there's not a whole lot of heat sink. So the cooling tubes are here on the sides. The heat transfer has to go through this heat sink up into here. There's an air channel, which doesn't do any good inside a boat because there's no air blowing around. And then there's a couple of fins to radiate to increase the capacity of the heat sink. But the most cooling is here, so it has to transfer from here all the way to here to cool that off. Not only making it wider. The other thing is the sides of these tubes fit on the sides here, and this is plastic. There's no heat conductivity there whatsoever. So this is really a bad, poor design. I would rather have one that had one single tube in the top, which is cooling it, and heat's radiating up, and it's cooling it off that way. So there's 4 screws that hold it on, and then here's the tubes. They give you 2 different lengths of tubes. I'm not sure why that is, but they do. So we're going to pop the hose off of this one, and long ones on that side and short ones on this side. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our own heat sink. So I found a local machine shop that had this bar stock. I believe it's 1/2 inch by 2 inch, and he ended up cutting me off. I ended up getting 6 of them, and it was pretty inexpensive. And so what we're going to do is we're going to actually, as you can see, this is cut perfect. It fits right on there, no problem. Perfect. Makes the speed control a lot less wide, so it's much narrower. And the hoses are going to come out here. So there's going to be one going in, it's going to circle the water around and come back out. Here's how we're going to accomplish that feat. While it's in here down, we're going to go ahead and mark where we want our hoses to go. And so they're going to be right there sticking out on either side, okay? And we're going to drill and tap them. So what we're going to do is, I'll kind of draw a pencil to show you. We're going to make holes drilled in here to back to here, and then come up this way, and then come out. So it's going to be like so. Hope that you can see that. And so one line will come in, it'll circle around, and then come back out. The other issue with the FlyColor is it still came out both sides, but it was still kind of a pain in the butt. Let's face it. So what we're going to do is we're going to drill a hole here, right there, to make this hole. So we'll mark the drill bit, okay? So we'll go through the process of taking one of these apart. First thing you do is you take these 4 screws out or loose so that they're not touching. And I just take a little screwdriver and I stick it under here and I pry it up, and I stick it under here, pry it up, and you'll hear it kind of rip. You might have to do both sides. And then the top will come out. As you can see, that's not a lot of heat sink going on there. So this is what you have left. What I do is I have a little tiny chisel, and I just take this chisel and I go just like that, and I scrape this coating up. Boy, this got a good coating on this one. Anyway, I just keep scraping, and eventually you'll get it all out of there. And you got to make sure you get it down to the metal pieces. Now this one's got some extra rubber. I'm surprised this thing cooled at all. Just really bad way to do it. Just take your time, use a little edge of a screwdriver blade if you don't have a chisel, or you can use a small X-Acto knife if you have a flat chisel one, or even maybe a straight edge razor blade, but that might be a little bit too big to get in here. So just scrape it up and get it out of there, and then you want to get down to where these metal pieces are, and then you want to just sand those with some 320 and just shine them up a little bit, and so they'll be all flat. So that's that's the how-to. Boy, this one's got a bunch of extra glue on it here along the edges, so that you need to get that up as well. So you want to get it so that it's right to the edge of the plastic, and then this piece will fit right in there. As you can see, it won't fit in there right now. There's too much rubber, so I've got to get it all out of there. So let me get going, and then we'll show you when we have it done. Okay, so what I'm doing is, first thing I did is I got the 3 holes drilled. Okay, I'm tapping these 2 for the fittings. Okay, I've got one pretty much tapped. 1032, no problem. I got to go a little deeper. This will be tapped 1032, and then I'll get a set screw and put in there with Loctite. These will also be Loctited. And then what I'm going to do is, this is going to be the top because they're higher up, and I'm going to wet sand this with like 320, and then maybe go to 400 or 800, something like that, make it nice and smooth, and then that will be our block. So I've got a few more. May or may not sell some of these, I don't know, but a little bit of work involved. So what I did with the tap is I actually had this in the vise in the drill press for drilling the holes, and then I start this by hand, and I just move the chuck to get that started, and then once that's started, then I know it's square. So that's what I did. So we'll go ahead and finish this up, and then we'll show you how we assemble it when we get all done. Okay, here we are back. We've got the the piece all made. I've got my tubes. I tapped them 1032. I drilled this side hole that all blows through. I blew everything all out, cleaned it all out, washed it off. I used 400 and 320 grit sandpaper and polished the base. This is what's going to go on against the units. I'm missing my 1032 cap screws. I just got those ordered, so I can put that in. There's enough room to put that in after it's already done. So we'll go ahead and get it done on. You can listen. So it is hitting those copper pieces. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and clean this all up with alcohol so that we have a nice base to glue everything to. Now you can do this one of 2 ways, and this is a thermal glue that has it's able to transfer heat at so many whatevers. I hope this one's still good. Yeah, this is the one I used before, so this will probably be the end. I just ordered another one as well. And then this is thermal paste. Now what we're going to try and do, and I should have enough. If I run out, I have more in the house. I'll have to go get it. So I'm going to go ahead and put a big blob all the way across, and that's where we ran out. So, be back with you in a minute, and let me run in and get some more of that. Okay, just like magic, we're back, and I got more of that same stuff. And let's go ahead and finish up this center one anyway. So there's that one, that one. We're almost out on that one, so we'll go ahead and blob that on. And that should be more than enough. So, show you what we're talking about. We'll go ahead and put this on and see how it's going to perform. Ooh, sticks on there pretty good. So you can see that's going to go ahead and transfer the heat. Now that we have that on there, what we're going to do, I think it'll be easier to do it here. We're going to put a little bit of this all along the edges. Whoops. Got a little bit there. There we go. And this is thermal glue. So it's like thermal paste, only it's also a glue. And so this will go on here, and that will glue everything together. Now that we have that on there, we can wipe some of this all off, get it off my fingers. Okay, now once we have that on there, I'm going to take this and put it right in my vise, and I'm just going to snug it up enough to where it's going to go ahead and push that all together. So, just like that, and we're going to go ahead and just let it set. Now, the reason we use the thermal paste in the center is because it doesn't really need to be glued, it just needs to be pushed against those copper plates. And by doing so, the thermal paste has a better heat transfer than what the thermal glue has. So by doing that, we're still gluing it together, and we're having a better continuity with the thermal paste on there than we would with just the thermal glue. So that's why I do that. Just to transfer that heat just that every bit better. So that's how we go ahead and modify this once this is all dry after I don't know how many minutes, but then we'll go ahead and take it back apart, and it's ready to go except for the screw where I had to drill the cross piece. So here's one here that I did and I messed up. I thought it said a number 7 bit for a 1032, and actually that's a number 7 bit is for a quarter 20. So what I did is I actually ordered a 1032 helicoil kit, and I'm going to try to tap these to 1032 and then be able to use this one as well. I just have to drill the cross piece, which I haven't done as well. So that's that. I got a couple of those I can do, and that's how you modify. Guess I didn't have you in there. So that's how it's clamped into the little vise, and it seems to work really well. We'll leave it set for, I don't know, a couple hours or so. I don't know how long it takes for that glue to dry, that thermal glue. The reason we use the thermal glue again is because that holds it together. We use the thermal paste because it has better conductivity for transferring the heat. So simple as that. That's how you do it. It was real easy. It took me just a few hours to do that. I've got a disc sander, so I didn't show you the whole process of all that, but it should be pretty nice. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for stopping by Shop Talk today, and hope we learned something. Catch y'all later. I know I did.